Hello, everyone. We're going to start in a few minutes. Could you just tell me if my audio is coming through clearly? All right. Welcome, everyone. It is 4 p.m. I am on time. This was a difficult trading day, but I am ready if you are ready. So, if you never heard me before, if you never attended any of the webinars or saw my videos um, in ninZa's YouTube channel, my name is James Buchman, retired New York City Department of Education school supervisor, always fascinated with trading. Um, Retired it's about 16 years now, and took up trading full time, and made a transition to electronic trading some years back. And here I am. I'm trade mainly prop firm accounts for myself. I also trade some private equity for accredited investors. Uh, uh, about a little over a year ago, created my own Discord group where I share trade levels for 7 futures instruments, including NASDAQ and the S&P. Over the summer, July or August, I partnered up with ninZa and have been doing videos promoting their products. I always thought ninZa had quality products, and so I did not mind putting my name on those products and promoting them. All trades that I take, all the videos that I make for ninZa and in the webinar today, all of them always use prop firm accounts. Most of you know, well, the 2 most popular firms, prop firms, of course, their funded accounts start with PA, but there are other firms and they have different ways of identifying their funded accounts. Since most of you know PA, I used PA prop firms that identify their funded accounts as PA to show that I'm not just recommending an indicator that I cannot trade. Um, Everything I do is always in an account that makes a difference. I'm not a great believer in promoting a product by saying, let me show you some back testing. Back testing can never, ever truly replicate real-time situations. And so my idea is, if I cannot make money using a particular indicator, how can I possibly promote it and ask other people to try and make money with it? So you're going to see my charts. I love showing charts. I think we learn best by actually looking at live charts, not cherry picked, but from today. And anyway, let me go through my whole presentation and then I will answer questions. But just in case you have to leave, by the way, don't leave. There was a great offer at the end. Don't leave. I mean, a really great offer. So stick around. But just in case, if I don't answer a question, if you have a question, you ask it. But I'm presenting, I did not answer your question. You can get in touch with me via email. This is also my website that leads to the Discord group that I am running. I've been on for over a year now. Started with like 11 people back in December of 22. Now there are over 200 people on the server. So people like what I do, I guess. So they stick around. So yeah, this is just in case I skip, your question. I don't answer your question. You can always email me and so on. Anyway, so what are we going to do today? Today, we're going to be talking about Lightning Leopard Trading. And it's a very nice name for a package. Basically consists of an overbought, oversold, oscillating kind of an indicator, EOB ordering, we're going to talk about that. Essential tool, I believe. It replaces your chart trader. I mean, it's an essential tool that can really get you into fast-moving markets. Absolutely essential. We're going to be talking about, of course, the King Renko bar, which is part of this package, a very unique bar, especially as far as Renko bars go, because unlike a regular Renko bar, which is what is known as an irregular bar, because it doesn't actually start where it looks like it starts, the low is not really where the low looks like in a regular Renko bar. But a King Renko bar, it's actually represents price correctly. So it's a very unique bar, and is definitely makes this whole package a lot more accurate. And not only this package, really, a lot of NINZA's indicator really perform much better using the King Renko bar. So we're going to be talking about the components. I'm going to go more into detail about that. Compatibility, what kind of markets is this package good for? There's going to be an amazing offer at the end, so do stick around. And of course, we're going to have live charts, live example, live challenges, and everything else that goes into trading. So buckle up. All right. So first of all, before we even continue, I, as a former educator, I know I just got to ask questions. So, what type of market movements are there? There are really two types, really, is speaking in generality. There are two types of markets. Markets can either trend or what? Markets can either trend or 5 seconds. Markets can trend or markets can be range bound. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Markets can trend or markets can be range bound. One of the most challenging times for a day trader and for most indicators, by the way, is what is known as what we call chop, right? What is chop? Chop is when market kind of is going without direction. It seems like it has random moves up and random moves down. And it's very challenging to trade such a market. Now, who can tell me, just fill the blank here, most of the time, markets are what? Are they trending most of the time, or do they chop around most of the time? Okay. Right. Markets trend, I mean, that's a rough figure, of course. Markets trend about less than 30% of the time. Let's just say it's less than 30% of the time. What is a trending kind of market? Let me quickly show you an example here. Okay. See this move? This is a very strong downtrend right here. Right here, right? This is a very strong trending down move. This is an example. This is not range bound, right? This is an outright sell-off. So this is a trending move. And what happens is, and I'm sorry, those of you who have been around for a while, you know this, but I have to include everyone, even those who may be slightly newer to trading. This kind of a move, that's not the norm. That is the exception. In other words, markets will make a sudden strong move and then go into a period of consolidation. Consolidation now, that's when market starts oscillating up and down, eventually developing a range. And the more experienced trader can recognize this range and be able to kind of trade it if that's what the trader wants to do. But the problem is A trending indicator, what is a trending indicator? It's an indicator that follows a trend, would have a lot of problems in range-bound markets, and we've all experienced it. We have a trending indicator, we put it onto a chart, and the market goes into consolidation, and all of a sudden you have one losing trade after another because the market is not trending. So to try and use a trending indicator in a non-trending market cannot possibly be successful. But if we have an indicator that can trade those periods of time, now we have a complete package. We have our trending indicator that helps us when markets are trending, and now we have the overbought, oversold, oscillating kind of an indicator that helps us in times when markets are not trending. So, right, this is a very strong, let's say, trend up. This is sideways. And in the sideways, you just looking to pick the bottom or the top, depending. Obviously here, you don't know that this move is coming, but the idea is you see that the market is oscillating up and down. That's what the overbought, oversold, overlap indicator, that's when it performs best. So while a trending indicator probably would not do too well over here, this kind of an indicator would do very well. So again, we're seeing this, I mean, these are the perfect examples, right? We're going to see charts where things are not so perfect. We're going to see real life. So yeah, but in this example, we see how markets is oscillating up and down, and there is a long and there is a short and there is a long, and then interesting, no short because there was no confirmation, but then a long, and then finally probably a short coming up over there. So again, an example. Now, when you look at it from let's say here, you can say, well, it was actually a market that was trending up overall. That might be true when you look at it after the fact, but as it is happening, it is difficult to identify exactly what is going on. But the overbought, oversold overlap indicator can really find these points where in oscillating conditions, in range-bound and consolidating conditions, it finds points to get long and to get short at. So that's another, of course, a beautiful example of a long. This is obviously a trending up market, and the point here is that the indicator finds the low. Because it's an oversold situation, this indicator looks to buy an oversold situation. Again, we're going to be looking at live charts where things are not necessarily so obvious. Again, range bound, and that's what I'm talking about. This. Most trending indicators would get killed here. You cannot be trading a trend indicator in these conditions here. Now, this is actually something that's very real. This happens, again, more than 70% of the time. It's only a certain fairly small percentage of the time that the market makes a move and then it starts doing this. And most trending indicators would not do well here. But an indicator that can find very precise overbought and oversold condition, then this kind of an indicator can do really well. Okay. Just do something. Well, again, it's just showing more examples. Oops. Right. So there is an overbought situation. And an overbought situation, you're looking to sell, right? And then it goes into an oversold situation and you're looking to buy. Again, we're going to be looking at live charts. In live charts, things are not always as clear as this. So yeah, so this indicator is for reversal trading and for range trading. This is not a trending indicator. Um, Although if you combine it with a trending indicator, you can get amazing signals, but that's a different webinar. Um, yeah, reversal and range bound. And of course, we're going to be using a King Renko bar. It's really ideal for this kind of setup. So that's the overbought, oversold. We just spoke about it. But okay, what makes it so amazing, by the way? Why is it better than just a regular stochastics, regular RSI? What NINZA managed to do with this indicator, and we're going to be taking a look at it in a few minutes, it's actually combined the MFI, stochastics, and RSI all into this indicator. So it's like one checks the other. And what you get is as perfect as you can come to identifying overbought or oversold situations. It's not just stochastics by itself. It's not just RSI by itself. It's not just MFI by itself. It's all three. And what you get are very precise overbought and oversold um, signals. So of course, we talk about the Renko bar. We're going to be showing the Renko bar. EOB ordering. We're going to be looking at that as well. Now, EOB ordering basically replaces your chart trader, only it's much better than your chart trader. With EOB ordering, for example, if you kind of go back here, right? When price is going down and we begin to see the shade, we know that the next bar that's closing up, there's going to be a long signal. The thing is, in fast-moving markets, it is next to impossible to catch it manually. So EOB ordering has an option where once you press it, it will fire, in this case, a long trade if a bar closes up. This is the condition. It will take a long if a bar closes up. It is not only essential for this setup, it is essential for most setups. It is a tool that when dealing with fast-moving markets, without it, you'll either will get in late or you're going to try and run a trade too early, which means you really are not following your rules. But this tool will keep you honest and will get you in at the right time. Absolutely essential, in my opinion, EOB ordering. Okay. I don't want to talk about the offer yet. That's a bit later. Now we come to my favorite part. We get to look at charts. Okay, so I don't even know what to start with. Maybe crude oil. Now, here is what I can say. Today was not an ideal day for this setup. And I'm actually happy to say that because unlike, when some people try to promote an indicator or a setup, they look for ideal conditions for that setup. Because I actually trade what I promote, I don't know what's going to happen today. I don't know. I do my homework the day before. I set up the chart as far as the settings or the bar size, and then I kind of see what's going to happen. Now, here's some rules when it comes to this kind of an indicator. We said already this is not a trending indicator, so you want to stay away from times when price tends to trend. Let's in the case of oil, for example, when does oil tend to trend the most? Well, it opens up at 9 a.m. Eastern. That half hour between 9 and 9:30 might not be the best time for this indicator because price tends to trend, right? And we said already, we are looking for times when after a move, price tends to kind of go up and down and oscillate. That's when this indicator does the best. Nevertheless, now that I went through all this, nevertheless, as I said, because it is so amazing at picking overbought, oversold situations because of the MFI and stochastics and RSI. Everything is here. Everything is here. It's not just one, it's all three, and they filter each other out. That's the beauty of it. So what you get is an absolutely perfect, as perfect as you can come to perfect, overbought, oversold signal. This one here is oversold. In real time, what happens is the shaded area begins to paint. When this happens, you know that the next bar that closes up, the next bar that closes up is going to be a signal. That's when EOB ordering comes in. So here you get to pick your ATM strategy, whatever it may be, number of contracts. You can put 20. I'm just kidding. You'd put one. You get to decide if you want a limit order, a market order, a stop order. It has everything here. And in the case of a long, you would press buy on bar close to the upside because we want the bar to close to the upside. You can also, for example, pick to only buy if the bar closes down. I mean, I wouldn't trade it like that, but it's an option. If you want to buy only if a bar closes down, you could. And then if a bar closes up, there is no long trade, only if a bar closes down. It's up to you. You can also pretty much just get in immediately. Like you're the one, let's say you see this blue thing forming, you don't want to wait for the bar to actually close up, you just want to buy. You would press this and it will fire a long trade based on whatever ATM you have set up in here, however many contracts, and whatever market, whatever order type you want. Again, this tool, super essential in fast moving markets. Anyway, let's go back to the actual chart. This aside. So there is this long trade. And the long trade is absolutely awesome. Now, let me point something out. I just want to show you an example. I said today was a tough day with this setup. You see this? Now, I was watching this in real time. And when longs came up, I did not take them. Why not? Why didn't I take these longs? It's after the time when I said that oil tends to really move. Normally, about 7 out of 10 days during this time, oil is much quieter, but not today. How did I know not to take these long trades? Well, look at this. Is this a trending market or is this an oscillating market? Well, heck, this is a trending market. I mean, this thing is falling off the bed. I don't want to buy this. So I did not take any of these longs, even though a couple of them definitely, well, especially this one, would have been profitable. But again, when I'm here, I don't know that, right? How can I separate this, which is for sure a losing trade, from this? I can't. So I stood aside. I did nothing. I did nothing. And yes, I missed out on a beautiful long trade. So oil today, I just took one trade, and that was in the beginning here. That's when I did not take this short, even though I could have. I really wanted to give it some time to calm down. I actually thought this where the oscillating part, the range bound part of the day is going to start. I did not keep it for the full move. I just went for a scalp. I did not know, obviously, in real time, that there would be such a move. The point is, the overbought, oversold indicator found it. I mean, picture perfect trade. And you can kind of see, let's say before the 9 a.m., right, before the market opens, that's what I mean by an oscillating market, right? Nice and easy. You see this? Up and down and up and down. And most of the time, like I said, maybe like 70% of the time, this is what you see after an initial move. So today was actually not a good example. Today markets were really moving, but still, you can find periods of time when things are just going nice and relaxed and up and down, and this indicator excels. I mean, you can tell. Look at these, picture perfect, oversold, overbought, then oversold, oversold again, right? Overbought, took some heat after the initial move, took some heat, but then came down and then a huge move up. But when I saw this happening, I stood aside because I was looking to buy it first, but not when I saw this. This is bad, right? That's not what you want in a range bound type of trading indicator. This is not range bound. This is a trend. Sorry to spend so much time on it, but it's really important, I think, for you to understand the difference between a trending, you all have trending indicators. Put a trending indicator on this, and it will do amazingly well. The problem with a trending indicator, right, that during these times, it might not do very well, while this indicator does. So in other words, what this will do, it will complete your overall tool kit, if you will. You have your trending indicator, and then you have an indicator that will keep you profitable when the move is over. But in this case, this is not a move that looks like it's over. Anyway, sorry taking so much time, but I do think it's important. That's crude. Let's take a look at gold. Again, everything today was fairly tough, but still did okay. So again, just to quickly point out, again, I do not trade SIM. I trade PA account. I trade accounts where I have something to lose. I'm not just going to recommend you something and show you a back test. I don't do that. So if I can't make money, I don't expect you to. Not saying that I'm better than you. I'm just saying that for my own sake, I just cannot recommend something where I cannot be successful at it. Anyway, so gold, gold you want sometime after 8:30, right? Today we had big news, of course, at 8:30. And here is the overbought, oversold, finds an oversold situation to buy. And gold was not too horrendous today, actually. Gold, there was a buy and there was a sell. And you see how nicely markets oscillate here. And that's what you want to see. Here, if you were still trading at this time, which normally this kind of an indicator does well at this time, because for the most part there was little movement, there was some heat on this trade. Depending where your stop would have been, maybe you would have been stopped, I don't know. But the point is, it's still identified it may be a bit premature, but there was a nice move up. But again, in the beginning, I think I said this in the last webinar, right? Don't keep on trading. You have a nice winning trade. You have another nice winning trade. Just stop. Stop. All right. Again, how would a trending indicator do here? I can't imagine too well. Can't imagine too well. And that's when this indicator takes over. Okay, I think everyone wants to see the Nasdaq and the S&P, I'm sure. So let's take a look. Rough. Nasdaq and S&P rough today. It's again, after 10, you don't want, especially the Nasdaq, my goodness. Normally between like 9:30 and 10 o'clock, the first half hour, you don't want to deal with that. It's very violent moves. Definitely not a market for the most part that's in a range during that time. Then normally it begins to oscillate. Today was really the exception. Today, violent moves from in the beginning up and then a huge move down and then up again. Today, those of you who trade the Nasdaq every day, I think would agree with me. Today was not an average movement in the Nasdaq, but still, the overbought, oversold finds an oversold situation. This one is just enough for a scalp. This one is enough for more. And then it becomes very individual. How do you want to trade it? If you can trade it along with something else, for example, in my Discord group, I give levels for the 7 markets, as I said, so traders kind of know what to look for. They know if they want to favor longs or shorts and at what price. So something like this could help. But I mean, decent signals overall. It's just that um, uh, the movement never stopped today. When normally Nasdaq would take a break and kind of go up and down, up and down, that's when this indicator shines. Today was just rough, but still, as rough as it was, definitely very nice ways of identifying oversold in this case situations, and not because the reason it's superior to just stochastics or just RSI or just MFI is because this one has all three. All three. So the signals are very precise. And for the most part, you can at least get a scalp out of them, if not more. I mean, this obviously is a heck of a lot more. But you don't know the kind of move that will happen right ahead of time. So even though, yes, an amazing move, my point is when you are here, you don't know that. So you must have a trading plan ahead of time. You cannot be coming up with a plan in the heat of the moment. You need to be prepared before the trading ever starts. By the way, let me point something out here. Here is an oversold situation, but there is no signal. And this indicator does not repaint. It's not like there was a signal and it disappeared. There is simply no signal. And that is because uh, of the combination I was talking about, stochastic RSI and MFI, and eventually price exceeded a level that at least one of those indicators had in its coding. And so even though price went down, there was no short signal. And sure enough, price went higher, right? So quite a bit higher. And then another example of oversold again and a buy. Now, again, I am not saying you should just keep on trading. My advice always is you must have a daily goal before trading starts. Once you achieve it, put the mouse down, shut the machine, go do something fun. Um, but just to show you toward the end of the day, um, another oversold situation and the buy. So yes, the signals very precise, maybe except one. Signals were very precise in the Nasdaq. I just found it today to be, it's like the movement never stopped. And when I was getting ready for this package, for this webinar, I was really hoping for what happens, let's say, at least 70% of the time when I could show you a much better oscillating market. These are all examples of very sharp moves, right? So yes, oversold situations were identified, but overall, there was really no oscillating all day. It was just violence. It was violence all day. So that's just how it is. That's why I don't cherry pick. I just show you the day. Whatever happened today, that's what happened. And anyway, whoops, wrong one. Let's look at what didn't I show? The S&P, the S&P, the beloved S&P. Okay, S&P. So again, you don't want to do anything the first half hour. Let it go. Okay. If there was news at 10, wait. At first, it's just, you see why, right? This is not a trending indicator. And it's not like some people say, well, this indicator doesn't work here. It's not that it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's just that it's not the appropriate indicator for this time. This is when you use your trending indicators, your solar wind, your Ruby River, your Cosmic Z, whatever. That's when you use that. But then normally, and again, today just wasn't normal. Normally, after this initial move, well, that's when things begin to calm down. And we see again, right after 10, he was an oversold situation. Boom. Beautiful signal. Amazing. Again, here you don't know that this was going to happen. So he just goes up. Now, I guess S&P was slightly better than the Nasdaq, but still, these are very trending moves. That's not really oscillating. This is still very much so. Maybe if we make it smaller, um, right? There is some consolidation here. Now, how would a trending indicator do here? Horribly. But there are no signals because there is no true identification here of overbought or oversold. It just no signal. We had one over here and then nothing. And then another oversold situation finally here. Again, beautiful, completely sideways here. So again, S&P, I guess, better than the Nasdaq. I was mainly focusing on the Nasdaq, but the S&P is definitely much more range bound here. It's just that again, for the most part, there was more of a kind of a, I guess, kind of this, only slightly more extreme to actually generate signals. Again, notice, and that's because of the three indicators that go into this package here, this overbought, oversold, no signals here, just a buy. That's it. And that brings you all the way up to here. Then, that's just a tiny scalp. But you can tell from here that actually there was a trend up. Me, I probably would not sell this, but I don't know because by this point I wasn't looking anymore. I don't trade it this time, and I advise you not to. But normally, actually, at this time, markets very much so don't do much. S&P for the most part at this time is very much so kind of like this, not like this. Today was really a very, very trending kind of day. But again, if you've been trading for a while, you know that a day like today is an exception, not the rule. This is not how an average S&P day or the Nasdaq day is. So then I don't know what happened next. Nothing. So yeah. So no more signals. So overall, this is barely okay. Again, not much. This is terrific. This is terrific. And of course, you don't want to trade it before 10. This here, this is the good signal. And again, I would probably just use it for a quick scalp. Um, yeah, difficult day for the Nasdaq and the S&P, but still enough to give you profit if you are not looking for huge targets, and you're satisfied, you have a daily goal, and you're satisfied with that. The Russell, there was someone who was always asking me about the Russell, so today I made the point. Where is my Russell? Hold on, let me find my Russell. My Russell. Here we go, my Russell. Okay, so again, right? Same exact thing with the Russell. You don't want this. This is the move. This is when a trending indicator comes in, right here. And then normally things come down after 10, and we have more of a back and forth. So here is a very nice long. Here is eventually a very nice short here. Maybe a bit premature. Maybe this would have been better, but that's it's like saying, let me look after the fact and tell you what's better. This is okay. It took some heat, but this is, I mean, the signal is a good signal. Very nice. Move lower, and this is actually more here what I think normally happens after a move during the consolidation stage of the market. It's this. That's when most trending indicators fail because there's no trend until here, right? Finally, here, now you have a trend down, and down. Here was the back and forth I was talking about. So it was a bit better on the Russell, right? The Russell does have kind of a back and forth kind of thing from a buy to a sell, but then this. Um, and, and that's when some experience has to come in. Let me show you something. So it's easy to look after the fact and say, well, this market is trending up, so I'm not going to take this. Okay, but that's fantasy. How do you know in real time what is going on? Um, would I have taken this long? I would have, because when I look to the left, I see this pivot over here lines up with this one. And because I'm already expecting a back and forth kind of motion, yeah, I would take this long. Would I take this short? Yes, because I'm anticipating back and forth. But then there is this, which I can say lines up with this. This one I probably would have taken, and this would have been a losing trade. Would I have taken this one or this one or this one? No way. No way. By this time, after this, let's say I'm looking for more than a scalp, and I'm stopped on this trade here. Let's take a look. It is clear by this point we are dealing with a trend. We have broken this pivot. Now we are definitely trending up. From this point, if I'm still looking to trade, because remember, definitely after this and after this trade, I'm done. I'm finished. Even though this is a winning trade and this is maybe a winning trade, I'm done. I am no longer trading. But if I'm looking at a chart, this becomes clear. We are trending up. I'm not taking any of these shorts. Now I'm looking for a pullback and a long trade. In other words, now that I know the trend is up, I'm looking for an oversold situation to try and buy, kind of like this here. See that? Trending up, pulling back, gets oversold, and that's when you buy. If you still want to trade at this time, which I wouldn't, but if you are, just kind of showing you how to think in those terms, right? Trending up, pullback, oversold, perfect oversold signal. Here is the buy to go up. But yeah, for sure, I would say this one is a losing trade. I mean, unless you really were looking for a small scalp. Um, it's just how it is. Would not take this, or this, because then it's obvious already we are trending up. Anyway, I know sometimes I spend too much time on this stuff, but I think it's important. Um, it's important to understand what the market is doing, even with the indicators you have already, with your trending indicators. How do you know when not to use it? Well, because if you start having movements like this, right, that's when you're not using it. And you look at the time and you said, okay, that's when the trending indicator should have been working beautifully. And now I'm going to enter a period of consolidation. Normally, and today it was not the case, but normally, uh, these periods of consolidation just have waves up and down. And this indicator just nails it during those times. Okay, let's put this one away. So I think I showed everything. I showed oil. I showed NASDAQ. I showed S&P. I showed the Russell. I think that's all I have. I think this, and yeah, The EOB ordering, again, you saw it on every chart. Trying to catch these trades manually, it's almost an impossible task. You're going to be too late, you're going to be too early, you're going to be entering trades you should not have entered, or you're going to be entering a trade you should have entered way too late. Even without this package, even just something to have, this EOB ordering is an essential tool. Just trying to see if there's anything I'm forgetting here. All right, so yeah, yes, if you are a more sophisticated trader, you begin to look for areas of support and resistance to kind of try to target. So if you're in the long, you look to target this area. Okay, but you see, when I present, I'm not going to assume that everyone watching has 8,000 hours of screen time. I cannot assume that. This is an advanced approach, a very solid approach, one that shows a certain degree of experience and skill. And yes, it will definitely help you to be very profitable. I just cannot assume that everyone um, would have this kind of um, experience and skill. Okay, let me just see if I'm forgetting something. The deal. Should I? The deal. 47 hours. What? The deal. Okay. So here is the thing. So the package, again, it's the overbought, oversold. It's EOB ordering, and it's the King Renko bar. So normally 1388 and first 15 licenses for the package for those um, two indicate, I guess, one indicator, one tool, and one bar. 596 for the first 15, 696 for the next 20. But here is, I brought up an issue because in my Discord group, a lot of my traders said, but wait a minute, I already have a King Renko bar, or I already have EOB ordering. When I brought up this point, NINZA did something amazing, actually. And they gave me a code, JABU60. And this code is good for anything NINZA, anything, 60% off. It's very limited time. I think it's, here it says 46 hours. I actually think they told me 3 days, 2 to 3 days. Don't quote me. If you want to get something, like do it do it today. So JABU60, meaning that, so that's my my first and last name, I guess. They use the 2 letters of my first, 2 letters of my last name. 60. This makes me feel very special. Of course, my wife says I'm always special. In any case, yeah, 60%. So if you already have EOB ordering and the King Renko bar, you just need, let's say, the overbought, oversold, overlap indicator. You can get it for 60% off. Or again, the full package. The full package coupon is Leopard. And then you can get all three if you don't have any components of this package. Okay, trying to see if I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Well, we're going to have our question and answer, and then maybe I'll remember if I'm forgetting something. Give me 2 minutes, please. Let me have a drink. Was lots of talking. And we're going to get to questions. Hopefully you have questions. I love answering questions. So give me 2 minutes, ask your question, and I'll try to get to everyone. All right, so I'm going to start. Um, I will give my email again at the end in case I skipped someone. So let's see from the top. GPT. If you're talking about zone GPT, that was a completely different thing. So zone GPT also had, well, not really overbought, oversold, but it had zones, slightly different things. So no, they're not. It's a completely different package, um, Zone GPT. So no, someone wrote in Spanish. I do not speak Spanish. I hardly speak English. Um, but let's see, EOB ordering OCO. That is a good question, you know. OCO orders. I don't know if it has OCO orders. It it doesn't. So whatever your template has, right? So you would use an ATM. You would create the ATM. You would put it in here, and you would however many contracts, and the type of an order. So if we so maybe on the type. So I don't see OCO, but there is a stop order. But I don't see an OCO. But that is actually a good question. Perhaps write to NINZA support. I don't want to give you a wrong answer. If I don't know something, I'll say I don't know something. The signals don't repaint and they pop. So in other words, in the case of a short, once you start seeing this kind of a red shaded area, that's when you anticipate you are already here in an overbought situation. But the indicator still needs a confirmation. So as soon as the bar closes down, that's when you're going to get your confirmation, unless price goes beyond the shaded area without a confirmation, and then there's just no trade. But when this happens, you would press sell on bar close to the downside. You would press this, sell on bar close to the downside, and then if a bar closes down, then a trade will fire. If a bar does not close down, a trade will not fire. I'm trying to see if there was an example of, no, I don't see any here. I think I did show you one example where there was a shaded area, but price continued, and so there was no signal. Um, yeah. Let me see what else. Hold on. Okay, what are example of trending indicators? Well, a trending indicator, for example, solar wind is a trending indicator. Ruby River is a trending indicator. Easy trend. Easy trend is basically a moving average kind of thing. That is a trending indicator. A trending indicator would try to identify a trend, either up or down, and give a signal based on whatever the coding is in that indicator. And as I mentioned, it's not a problem with them. It's just the way they are coded. They are looking for direction when there is no direction. And unfortunately, today again, it was such a directional day. Normally, it's not like that. Normally, there are plenty of periods of time when the market is just doing absolutely nothing. And that's when this indicator shines from a short to a long to a short. Like, how would a trending indicator, for example, deal with this? It's tough. It's tough, right? So, yeah. Let's see what's next. Okay, as far as what a trending indicator is good with it, I think I will actually have a webinar next week. There is another setup that uses this indicator with a trending indicator. Solar wind is pretty good. Uh, I can tell you I'm developing, as far as trending indicators go, I'm developing a special liking to Cosmic Z. It is just it is as far as trending indicators go, it is phenomenal. So solar wind, Cosmic Z, and again, easy trend as far as just kind of a direction based on a moving average. So all of those would be good. Hold on. As far as settings, I didn't change anything. All of these settings are out of the box. It's just the way they configured the RSI and the stochastics and the MFI. It's just I don't feel I need to mess around with it. It just the way it identifies it. Uh, With this indicator, it's just a matter of knowing when all of a sudden you are in a trend because you don't want to use it when you are in a trend. Another example is here, right? Here, you want to use the buy because you're in an uptrend. You want to wait for a pullback to use the buy. Um, Hindsight. Okay. Great point. You know what? Yes. So, someone wrote all indicators work in hindsight. I will say this. All indicators that are coded well work all of the time. By work, I mean that they generate signals. Now, I know what you mean. I'm not trying to be obnoxious. You mean profitable, right? When you say work, you mean all indicators are profitable, and that's not exactly true. Um, but I understand your point. I will just say this: when it comes to an indicator that is designed for range bound markets as opposed to trending markets, you just need to know your market. You need to know that at first you don't want to use this indicator. And this is not a surprise. You pretty much expect it. This is the time to use a trending indicator. And then you have period of market just comes down, and then you can trade. You can take a long and a short and a long and a short. Um, as far as it's not exactly true that they only work kind of after the fact, unless you are saying that the signals repaint, and these signals do not repaint. This happens in real time, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? When the ugly was happening, it still stays on this chart. It's not leaving. And again, this was made today using this setup in all the not even in all the markets. I mean, I have the markets. I was not able to catch every trade in every market. I'm doing too many things during the day, but this was made using this package. So no, it is definitely in real time profitable if you understand the design um, of the indicator, because otherwise you are trading blind, right? If you have no edge, and I spoke about this in the last webinar, if you are trading without an edge, you are definitely one of the 97% that cannot be profitable in this industry. Um, and the other thing is, as I said, you just need to know the type of indicator you have. And if you understand that this is not a trending indicator, this is an indicator to take advantage of specific situations. What situations? Oversold and overbought situations for quick scalps. Can you get more than a scalp? You could, for sure. But that part can only be known after the fact, I guess. Let's go next. Okay, so first the scan code. So is this the same as? So I guess this is the scan code, right? This is the scan code. Also, you have this $200 gift. Yeah, $200 gift. As far as what is a scalp, um, becomes very individual. What is a scalp? To me, a scalp is between like $50 and $100 per trade, and I can have a whole bunch. This whole so this amount made today was with quick scalps. I did not stay for any big moves. When I saw a signal that made sense to me, I would just go quickly, anywhere between 50 and 100 and out. Um, and in my group, for the traders in my group, I just recommend first get consistent at $100 a day, assuming one E-mini is traded. Um, that's it. And of course, most people don't listen to me because there is so much more available. But if see, then it just becomes a matter of how many contracts you're trading or how many accounts you have. If you can get consistent at 100 a day, trading one e-mini in one account, then sky's the limit. Then it doesn't matter, right? 100 can become 500, can become 1,000. But first, get consistent at 100. And probably the most difficult thing to do for people, because I work with traders all the time who tell me this, they're done very often by like 9:40, you know. And then they say, well, what am I going to do now? So then they stay and they keep on trading. As I told you, there was no need for that. Take one or two trades, get your daily goal, be done. Be done. Okay, let's see what's next. To the person who wrote, does it work better with one MN? Do you mean 1 minute chart or one? I'm not sure what MN stand for. Do you mean 1 minute? But again, for me, I used them out of the box. I didn't change anything. Again, the way NINZA coded the three indicators, the stochastics, MFI, and RSI together, I did not see a need to change anything. You can play around with the different settings, but I find, you know, with this, it's not so much the settings here, it's more of identifying if a market is trending. Um, or if I already have a level in mind, again, in my Discord group, I share levels. So if I already have a level in mind, I would look to buy it. Let's say if price arrives from the top here, I would already look to buy it, and I would just ignore all short signals because I would just look to buy. Let's say if I'm going for the bigger move, but no. But as far as the settings go, I don't change the settings. With this indicator, it's just more important to identify the kind of market you are dealing with, to be able to identify this as something you don't want to buy, this whole thing here. Um, and at the same time, this is not something I would want to sell. Yes, after the fact, it looks beautiful, but I did not know here there would be such a huge move down. So it's just important to be patient. This one, yeah, I would take this long. I would take this short, all things being equal, because of the time it is, because of the fact that the move already happened. Now, 7 out of 10 times. And again, trading is all about probability. 7 out of 10 times after a big move, there is time of consolidation, up and down and up and down. And that's when this indicator shines. It's the one I covered. Okay, here we go. Let's look for more. If something doesn't work as far as codes, that's not really my thing. But if you email NINZA, they're very good. They will take care of you. You just described that you tried, it did not work. I know one time the whole website crashed after all of you went there. So yeah, but don't worry, they always take care of their customers. They would never just say, well, sorry, the webinar is over. No, no, they'll describe the situation and they will take care of you. And again, just a reminder that there was this 60% off if you already have um, one or two of the three components of this package. You can still get the overbought, oversold, or the EOB, or the King Renko bar, or anything. They tell me it's anything, right? Anything at all in the NINZA store, 60% off. I hope I'm right about this. Um, for all products. So I got to be right about this. Yeah, it's 60% off everything, which is just amazing. If there is nothing else, I think we are done. So yeah, email me if you have any questions that maybe I did not see. If you think of a question after the webinar is over, if you want to tell me how great I was, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is my information. Hold on. NINZA Renko. Oh, yes, I knew I forgot something. Hold on. Yep, skipped one. So someone asked, can we use it on regular NINZA Renko bars? I'll say this. The King Renko is a lot more precise, but you know what? Let's have fun. Let's have fun. And let's pick NINZA Renko bar. I don't know, let's try 10-4 maybe 10-4. Now, I did not try it on the NINZA Renko, but let's give it a shot. So very similar, actually, right? Here is the buy we were talking about before. Here is another buy. So not too much of a difference. Looks very similar, actually. Just remember, the NINZA Renko bar is an irregular bar. Meaning what? Meaning that, and I'm sure you know this, I don't mean to be insulting, but this bar doesn't start here, right? This bar starts halfway here, not here. So it's definitely those of you who like to backtest. I'm not a big backtesting guy, uh, but those of you who like to backtest, this is impossible to backtest accurately, I should say. King Renko bar will allow you to backtest accurately. Um, and again, where's the short here? So again, the short is not from here. The short starts here. Okay, so just keep that in mind with an irregular bar. Irregular bars are such bars as regular Renko bars. Hakinashi bar is another example of an irregular bar. And those are just a bit easier, I'm sorry, a bit more difficult after the fact to really know where you would enter the trade. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, yeah, where's my NQ chart? The answer is yes, we can look. Someone asked me to take a look yesterday. If I can find my NQ chart, the answer is yes. Is this my NQ chart? That's my NQ chart. Okay. Okay. All right. Yesterday, all my troubles were so far away. Okay. So yesterday, well, was yesterday, and that's an amazing trade, but just trying to look at the time though. So this is yesterday, after 10 o'clock. Again, this doesn't look much, but this is good for a scalp. And then, whoops. And this is just an amazing trade long. And then I think yep, that was it. So not much yesterday. And that would probably depend also on bar size. But again, you see how you really don't want to participate when the market opens. Now, if, for example, and I don't want to brag here, but yesterday in my group, I was saying just take long. And I mean, this is, in other words, look for oversold situations to buy, right? So if you know what to look for, then you would even ignore the short, you would wait for this long. But that's talking about something very different. But yeah, so yesterday, not much in a way of signals, but one is a phenomenally good signal after 10. One is just enough for us. This doesn't look like much, but this is 10 points. It doesn't look like much, but this is quite a bit. This is just enough for a scalp, probably. Now, this is now going before a nice long, decent long. Well, now it's really Globex here. So this is Globex. So yeah, yesterday, not much as far as overbought and oversold, but very precise. So we can say about yesterday, maybe not a lot of signals, but very precise, right? I mean, that is a pretty darn good trade here. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. All right. Well, I don't see anything, but as always, if somehow I didn't see your question, you can always email me. And this was a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope this helped someone. There should be maybe another webinar next week where I actually requested from NINZA if I can show the overbought, oversold as part of a package with a trending indicator. So I think that's going to be a good one. So if they give me the green light, I think it's going to be a good webinar, um, kind of combining the trending with the overbought, oversold features. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.